There's a paradigm shift happening in the way that we work and the way that developers build apps. It's driven by changes in technology and accelerated by global events. That shift is towards a new kind of app, one that is built for collaboration by design. Those are apps that are seamless, they're borderless, and they meet users right in the flow of their work. Let's take a look at what that means when we put that into practice by a customer operating in one of the most demanding, dynamic workplaces in the world.
I love being part of a global airline that is true to its principle of connecting the world. That means traveling to new places all around the world, and scheduling is everything, and being able to manage time off and get things worked out just right.
The biggest challenge with managing my schedule is being able to communicate with other people and to get in touch with them in a timely manner.
UChat is a communication and collaboration platform for flight attendants. The integration provided with the Graph API and the bot framework made it possible to integrate Teams with the current application that flight attendants use.
Our schedules are everything. Just the other day, I messaged a flight attendant because I wanted her shift, and I was able to just send her a message and ask if she was open to trading, and she said yes. UChat makes our job so much easier.
Since we've introduced UChat, we now provide our flight attendants with the ability to make easy trip trades, either to suggest them or accept them through the Teams platform.
Teams has definitely helped United to get custom integration very quick to the market, cut down in time and cut down in cost.
Teams helps me feel more supported and just to feel more connected to other departments.
We are committed to deliver great experiences for our customers and great tools for our employees so they can serve those customers.
United Airlines Solutions is fantastic, and they're in great company. In fact, our customers have built and are using over 80,000 line of business Teams apps today. And they're not just building collaborative apps, they're buying them too. Today, the Teams marketplace hosts a thriving ecosystem of over 1,600 apps and experiences built by partners of every type and size. From established industry leaders like Adobe, SAP, and Workday to category innovators like Mural, Monday.com, and SurveyMonkey. Hi, I'm Graham Sheldon, Corporate Vice President of Teams Product here at Microsoft. Thanks for joining us at Ignite 2022, and welcome to this session on how to build collaborative apps to power an evolving workplace. We have a lot of ground to cover today, so let's get started by welcoming Sukhmani Lamba to the session.
Thanks, Graham. Hi, I'm Sukhmani Lamba, Product Manager at Microsoft Teams, and I'm happy to be joining you all at Ignite this year. We're always looking for ways to make staying in the flow of your work easier and more intuitive. Let's begin with zero-install link unfurling, which helps Teams users share a rich, interactive preview of the work they're doing in your app even before they've discovered your Teams app, by simply copying and pasting a URL into a Teams chat. It's designed to help you expand your app's visibility, discoverability, and ultimately its usage by our mutual customers. Then there's Collaborative Stage View, which lets your users immediately start interacting with shared content without leaving Teams. And finally, Shared a Meeting, which, as the name suggests, enables the spontaneous creation of a Teams meeting in which to quickly share your app's content. Let's see how it can all work together by looking at a demo built by one of our partners, Mural. In this example, a Mural user, Danielle, shares a link to a mural where she's been working on a new project plan and wants to review it with her manager. With zero-install link unfurling, Teams automatically presents a rich, interactive view of Mural content, even before Danielle has discovered or installed the Mural app in Teams. She signs in, and with one click, the card refreshes with helpful new content, like Open in Meeting for collaboration. She sends the card to her manager for review. Her manager receives the same rich card, which also includes quick action buttons. He clicks on Open, which unfurls the content into a collaborative stage view. And from there, he's able to chat and collaborate on Mural content, all within this new window and without leaving Teams. Now, let's say that the manager wants to have a quick call with Daniel to review some details before signing off on the project. All he has to do is click Share in Meeting on the adaptive card, which immediately launches a new Teams meeting with Danielle and her manager, and with the mural project automatically shared to the meeting stage, so that he can quickly close any open questions before giving his final approval. We're pleased to announce that Zero Install Link Unfurling, Collaborative Stage View, and Shared a Meeting are now in public preview for you to start trying it out. As we just illustrated, adaptive cards play an essential role in the integration and acceleration of asynchronous collaborative workflows inside of Teams. So the next thing we want to do is give you a look into how adaptive cards are evolving and becoming even more powerful. We're talking about adaptive card-based loop components. We announced the developer private preview of this tech in the spring at Build, and are happy to share with you how we're moving things forward with our partners, using an integration being built by SAP as an example. In this preview demo, an account executive has just been notified in SAP S/4HANA Cloud that a customer's sales order is blocked due to a credit limit check. The account executive contacts the credit manager in a Microsoft Teams chat to ask for approval of a credit limit increase. The chat automatically includes a loop component showing relevant account information. The credit manager receives this message, and in the loop component, the credit manager can view information like key metrics and requested steps. The loop component can be copied in Teams and pasted in Outlook as well, making it easy for the credit manager to communicate the request with other stakeholders. The credit manager can approve the new credit limit right in the email without leaving the flow of her work. And since loop components are always live and in sync, this update gets automatically reflected in the component in Teams and in SAP S/4HANA Cloud. The order is now unblocked. You can see from this example that we're making the adaptive card experience even richer. They're live, they're portable across Teams and Outlook, and embeddable anywhere. If you're an SAP S/4HANA customer, these new features are available through SAP's Early Adopter Program. We're working with several partners in the developer private preview to enable a wide range of scenarios with adaptive card-based loop components. We're pleased to announce that these scenarios will be available to end users in a public preview beginning in the first quarter of 2023. Back to you, Graham.
If you were with us back at Build in May, you no doubt remember that we introduced our new Teams Live Share SDK. Teams Live Share is a way to build multi-user, real-time collaboration into any app to co-watch, co-create, and co-edit content in meetings. But to refresh your memory, and for the new folks here joining us today, here's how it works. When you use Teams Live Share, your app gets access to a Teams-aware, Teams-hosted, and fully managed Azure Fluid Relay instance, including Teams-optimized Fluid container creation and management, live Fluid-based distributed data structures with cleanup, and media synchronization libraries for audio and video and intelligent audio ducking. Now, we know that collaborating in a hybrid workplace presents brand new challenges. For example, familiar tools like whiteboards aren't always available. That's why we're excited to announce Live Share Canvas. It's a brand new package that brings shared pens, highlighters, laser pointers, and cursors to any Teams Live Share application with just a few lines of code. Hexagon, a partner we featured at Build, has already incorporated Live Share Canvas into their Nexus 3D whiteboard experience so that anyone in the meeting can highlight different parts of the model and simply by drawing on the shared stage with their cursor. It makes engineering, design, and manufacturing reviews and Teams meetings really engaging and maybe even a little fun. It's such a great example of how flexible, inclusive, and powerful this technology is, and how excited our customers and our partners are to start using it in their collaboration apps. We're going to switch things up a little bit now and pivot from building interactive meeting experiences to building entirely new Teams apps. Earlier this year, we announced the integration of Teams Toolkit into Visual Studio Code, our source code editor for JavaScript and web developers, and a preview integration with Visual Studio 2022. We've got Paul Gildea here in the studio to give us a live look at the Teams toolkit and all the great stuff we've added. Hey, Paul.
Thanks, Graham. Well, here I am. I'm excited to show you a great way on getting started building your own apps using the Teams toolkit. Now, we've made the toolkit to help simplify building, debugging, and deploying and publishing your Teams applications. So I'm going to dive right in. So here I am in Visual Studio Code, where I already have the Teams toolkit extension installed. And I'm here to highlight some of the new templates that come right out of the box to help you to start integrate your business workflows inside of Teams. So I'm going to focus in on these templates right here, the scenario-based templates, and they're meant to address specific developer needs. Now, looking at the notification bot template, this helps you integrate your existing data and your existing events into Teams by using notifications. As I move down here, this is the single sign-on template, and this allows me to create Teams identity-aware web content that is embeddable inside of chats and channels, which allows you and your customers to stay collaborative inside of Teams. So that's a quick overview. I'm going to switch over to the browser. So to introduce this app, this is a demo app. That's the Contoso Retail Experience. And it's leveraging a mixture of the Teams UI library and Fluent UI React, which I'm happy to announce the general availability of Fluent UI. Now, the UX solutions comes right out of the box with performance and accessibility. And when I resize the screen, it reflows automatically. And it even has support for light mode, dark mode, and high contrast. And this allows you to build an engaging experience for your customers. Now, I'm going to hop back over into Visual Studio Code to see how the Teams toolkit helps me extend this exact same experience in Teams across to M365. So I'm back inside of Visual Studio Code. I'm going to pull up the Teams toolkit with the command palette, and I'm going to have it do two things for me. First, I'm going to upgrade the Teams manifest, and then I'm going to upgrade the Teams JavaScript SDK and code references to the latest versions. And for this specific application, that's it. And so now I've already built this application. I've already deployed it to Azure. And so now I'm going to hop over and show you the install experience inside of Teams. So here we are inside of Teams, and you'll notice one thing right off the bat. So if you look over here, there's a new tag that says Works inside of Teams, Office.com, and Outlook. Now, let's see this same application running across M365. So I'm going to pull this up into Outlook, and now you can see that exact same experience inside of Outlook. It's responsive as I resize here, and it responds to light mode and dark mode. And that happened without any code changes. And that allows you to build experiences that you can bring to your customers into any of the applications that they use most. Now, let's see the same experience running inside of Office. And so here it is, no code changes inside of Office. Love it. While we're looking at Office, let's see where else this experience can be extended to. Now, I'm happy to announce that Teams apps can now be extended to Office Mobile on Android, which is currently in preview. And as you can see, this app, the same experience that we had on our desktop, is now automatically on my phone. No code changes. And we're already extending our own Microsoft apps like Power BI to mobile, as well as other partners like SurveyMonkey, ServiceNow, and Mural. Wow, that was a lot of announcements. So let's pull it back together in one recap. First, we talked about Teams applications being extended to Office Mobile on Android, which is currently in preview. Fluent UI React for building UX experiences in M365 is general availability. And for SharePoint developers, we've upgraded our templates to use the latest SharePoint framework, which is currently in preview. And finally, we demonstrated how the Teams Toolkit is a great way to get started building new experiences for Teams and extending it to Outlook and Office.com. And if you're a .NET developer, we have one more announcement for you. The Teams Toolkit is now generally available for Visual Studio 2022. Now we're going to pivot away from pro-code solution and tools and talk about how low-code tools can accelerate collaboration in every organization. To do that, Miti Joshi is here to tell us what's new in the world of Power Platform.
Thanks, Paul. I'm excited to share some awesome new ways for anyone in an organization, not just professional developers, to collaborate and build applications with Power Platform. Just a few minutes ago, Sukhmani showed us how Mural and SAP are using professionally developed cards to bring workflows into Teams. Well, guess what? Cards aren't just for professional developers. With Power Platform, domain experts can create and send engaging and interactive mini apps that, just like their pro code counterparts, you can even copy from Teams into Outlook. Here's a great example of the power of cards in action. Degrees of Change is a mission-driven nonprofit that has sent more than 1,300 diverse and largely first-generation students to college equipped with full scholarships. Degrees of Change has a small Fusion dev team, one professional developer with a coding background working with 2 citizen developers who are the experts in all aspects of the scholarship program. Enter Cards and Power Apps. Today, Microsoft is working with Degrees of Change to help up-level their application review process using cards. Here's what the updated process looks like. We start off in a low-code designer familiar to anyone who has built with Power Apps before. Here we find handy data connectors, including one for Dataverse, which is Degrees of Change's source of truth for student application data. The team easily builds their card by dragging and dropping card elements to show the students information, and the reviewers' individual scores and notes all in one card. But why stop there? We know that at the end of the application review meeting, reviewers also need to vote on a final decision for each student. By adding voting buttons in the card and using PowerFX to add logic to power those buttons, Degrees of Change can ensure that every vote is captured in the source of truth, Dataverse. And just like that, the card is ready for action. Now, during application review meetings, the facilitator simply pastes the card about a student directly into the meeting chat. Each reviewer sees a personalized view with their previously assigned scores and notes, and they can even make last-minute updates. These updates are reflected immediately in Dataverse. No more manual data entry is required after the meeting. Constantly switching between apps takes a toll that quickly adds up. With cards, we no longer need to live in these side-by-side worlds. Microsoft's commitment to enabling hybrid collaboration goes beyond powerful micro apps like cards. With the introduction of collaboration controls for Power Apps, we're taking the next step in creating a seamless experience for organizations using Power Apps and Teams. Using collaboration controls, makers can easily drag and drop their favorite Microsoft 365 and Microsoft Graph API services directly into their own model-driven Power Apps, without the need for any pro developer tools. That means you can now use model-driven Power Apps to schedule meetings to Outlook, collaborate on files in SharePoint, request and manage approvals, and more, all from right within your app. I've shown you today how easy it is for both pro and citizen developers alike to build engaging, actionable, and data-driven solutions using low-code that truly transform the way their organizations operate. You can learn more about these announcements in Charles Lamanna and Donovan Brown's keynote on accelerating innovation. And you can check out our Into Focus session on how professional developers and business domain experts can work together to build apps faster. You won't want to miss these sessions. Until then, Graham is here to tell you how we're extending this amazing collaboration functionality beyond the Teams client that we all know and love. Graham, back to you.
Thanks a lot, Miti. So we've talked about how to use pro and low-code tools to build apps that integrate into Teams. But you can also embed Teams experiences into your app. What we're covering next will illustrate exactly how this works. Let's start with an example. Here, you can see a CRM app used by a fictional company, Woodgrove Bank. From this app, the bank's agent, Serena, can call external customers, send them text notifications and emails, and schedule and join meetings. Serena can also use the CRM app to manage her Outlook calendar appointments, chat, call, and meet in Teams with colleagues in different departments, and much more. Two technologies power all the features embedded in this CRM app: Microsoft Graph APIs and Azure Communication Services. Serena can see on her calendar that one of her clients, Matteo, is due at the bank for an in-person appointment. She can see in her records that Matteo received an email confirming the details of that upcoming appointment. But shortly before his appointment, Matteo realizes he can't make it in person. He sends Serena an SMS asking her to call him instead. Serena quickly replies to confirm Matteo's request and uses the CRM app to call Matteo when it's time for their appointment to begin. This entire interaction between Serena and Matteo, managed through Woodgrove Bank's CRM app, was powered by Azure Communication Services and leveraged Serena's existing Teams phone system capabilities and policies. All this is to say that we're really pleased to announce that Azure Communication Services support for Teams users is now generally available, meaning that you can now use Azure Communication Services to build standalone apps that integrate seamlessly into Teams users' audio, video, and telephony services. Now, let's look at how Woodgrove Bank CRM app uses Microsoft Graph APIs to improve its functionality. To do that, let's go back to Serena and Matteo. During his appointment, Matteo mentions to Serena that he's having an issue with his bank card. Serena is not a card specialist, and she can't solve Matteo's problem on her own. But from her CRM app, she immediately starts a new Teams chat with a colleague from the credit card team. She does this without having to interrupt her flow of work or her conversation with Matteo. And because Serena is using Teams to contact her colleague, it's easy to start a video call and share her screen to provide additional context so that they can solve Matteo's issue right away. Finally, thanks to the extended capabilities of Azure Communication Services, additional scenarios complement Teams capabilities, like notifying the customer via SMS, email, or a direct call. So this shows you an example on how you can bring audio, video, chat, and telephony for Teams users, plus SMS and email notifications to any custom app that you build thanks to Azure Communication Services and the Graph API. And of course, Teams. While it's useful to create scenarios that help customers envision use cases for our new technology, we have to admit that our customers often find new and exciting ways to bring it to life. A great example of this comes to us from Sweden, where the engineers at Link & Co. have integrated Teams and Azure Communication Services into their latest product. Let's take a look.
Link & Co. is not just a supplier of cars. Link & Co. is all about changing mobility forever. It's experience over ownership, it's mobility linked to connectivity, and it's sustainability. The integration of the Microsoft Teams apps allowed us to give it a new dimension. Your car also becomes your office, and your experience goes beyond your personal experience, but also your work experience.
Integrating with Azure Communication Services was really easy. Lots of features that made it possible to realize the objective of creating a way to join a Teams meeting from the car. It was so easy for us to prototype it and develop it really quickly, no hassle at all. I think we spent more time testing than we did developing.
The collaboration with Link & Co. has been amazing, and it's a great example of working with our customers to achieve the goals of Azure Communication Services, which ultimately are to enable customers to communicate for wherever they are, and that's what it's all about.
This helps our customers extend the value of Teams into the car to meet wherever they are on the go.
Now, all the great new tech that we've shared so far in this session is designed to help you reimagine how apps can help bring collaboration to people right in the flow of their work. However, to help us better understand how work is changing and evolving, we need rich organizational insights and analytics built on big data sets. So, we introduced Microsoft Graph Data Connect. It's a secure, high-throughput connector designed to copy select Microsoft 365 datasets into your Azure tenant. We're making a lot of investments in Microsoft Graph Data Connect, but let's start with this one. We are excited to announce that Microsoft Graph Data Connect is now integrated with Azure Synapse Analytics. Now, with just one click, you can move Microsoft 365 datasets into Azure Synapse to harness its powerful BI and machine learning capabilities. Rowan Kumar's session on the Intelligent Data Platform is a great place to learn more about this integration. But we have more to cover here. In addition to our new Azure Synapse integration, we're making it easier for ISVs to build and sell their solutions. To do this, we've made two significant updates. First, we've redesigned the approval and consent process to make it easy for admins to review data access requests from ISVs. And second, we've made it possible for Azure billing to flow directly to the ISV instead of to the customer. However, streamlining access for ISVs doesn't mean you have to sacrifice governance or security. In fact, we're announcing end-to-end audit logging in Microsoft Compliance Center so that IT admins can better enforce data usage guidelines and mitigate the risk of data leakage. In addition to granular consent and compliance monitoring tools, we're happy to announce that now, by default, Microsoft 365 data is fully encrypted. By making this a default setting, we're helping to ensure that there's no inadvertent leakage of data in transit or at rest. In addition to making data encryption a default setting, we're doing the same thing for data anonymization. Going forward, we'll also offer enhanced user identity obfuscation by default to help preserve end-user privacy while still enabling organizations to run their analytics on top of obfuscated data. Okay, as you might expect, we're not just simplifying, securing, and governing access to Microsoft 365 data. We're also helping you accelerate your time to insights by offering two new solution templates. The first one focuses on information oversharing. It's powered by our newly released SharePoint datasets to help you understand how files are being shared across your organization so that you can help create information boundaries to better protect your data. The second template assists with organizational network analysis to help you visualize connections between your organization to better understand employee collaboration. Trust is essential to ecosystem adoption and protecting your customers' data. We've made a set of investments for developers and IT admins in this space. With Microsoft 365 app certification, we've set a really high bar for compliance and security, as our customers would demand it. At the same time, we want to help developers accelerate the certification process without compromising that rigor. When building apps using Azure services, we recommend using the App Compliance Automation tool for Microsoft 365, which will be available in public preview next month. ACAT is easy to use and automates evaluation of a significant number of controls in the app certification process. In ACAT, you can see a summary view of your app compliance status against our certification requirements. Then you can drill in to individual reports to identify what remediation actions are required. ACAT can also help you manage your app's compliance on an ongoing basis. So in the event your app falls out of compliance, you can quickly respond. We've made it easy to export your compliance test to share with auditors as a PDF. We want developers to build compliant apps, and we really want administrators to have the tools to manage them. So we're offering a public preview of 3 new app management capabilities. First, app policy management. Second, app health recommendations. And third, app usage and insights. So what are they? App policy management helps you customize your app management policies to meet the needs of your organization for app security and hygiene. App health recommendations, which you'll find in the Azure AD Recommendations portal, give you more visibility and insight into your app usage to support actions like removing the unused applications or retiring stale application credentials. And app usage and insights help you better mitigate security risks and prevent potential security incidents, helping you determine when an app was last used, its permission mode, and the context in which it was used. All right, we've covered a lot of stuff and great news in this session. So let's do a quick recap of the highlights. Let's start with cards. We talked about cards in the context of link unfurling, loop components, and of course, low-code applets. They're increasingly important elements as we think about how to create the best collaborative experiences and workflows. Next, we talked about how it's easier than ever to build Teams apps by integrating the Teams toolkit into Visual Studio for professional developers and adding cards and collaboration controls to the Power Apps Designer. Then we shared some super cool new ways to use Azure Communication Services and Microsoft Graph APIs to embed Teams experiences in your own apps, and gave you a heads up that Microsoft Graph Data Connect is now just one click away from the power of Azure Synapse Analytics. And we closed up the news plate with the latest on building and managing trusted, compliant apps. It's a lot, I know, but it's actually small compared to the opportunity we have together to change the way the world collaborates. We've got a great companion blog for this session, and you can find all of our team's content at Ignite using this link or by scanning the QR code on screen. Until then, happy collaborating, happy coding, and build some killer apps. We can't wait to see what you build next.